This is my version of a craze that's eating up London. Pop-up restaurants are the latest, chicest experience in dining out, with loads of them sprouting up across the capital. Meet the part-time musician whose tiny Hackney home has become a world-famous restaurant.
It's quite unusual in that it's a kind of run-down council flat.
In Staines, a full-time working mum revamps a living room into an Indian restaurant.
It's been absolutely hectic. Yesterday we were up until about 1:30 cooking.
And the pioneers of the pop-up revolution.
We didn't ever plan for it to be that big. It kind of just grew into this thing because we realised that people absolutely love the idea of things popping up.
That should be ready, but the tomatoes are ready.
Anushka's running out of time. Later she'll be serving a 12-course dinner to 15 perfect strangers.
We've had relatives over and my cousin's been helping, so it's been really good. The theme tonight is Maharaja's Banquet. The guests are going to be having lamb and chilies, Punjabi chicken with coriander. There's going to be rice and chapatis.
The idea to transform Anushka's suburban flat into the pop-up restaurant she calls the Colonial Kitchen began as a simple passing comment.
We've always had an interest in cooking food, and then when my cousin sort of said, shall we do something with food, and I thought, you know, why not?
6 weeks later she's brought new furniture, cutlery, crockery, tablecloths, pots, food. There was no such angst when Horton launched a pop-up restaurant in his ex-local authority house.
When I first started this, it literally took me about 10 minutes to plan the whole thing. It's a lot easier than you think it is. The hardest bit is moving sofas about, I think.
Tonight, Horton and his partner Rachel recreate their Hackney home as the secret ingredient restaurant. Serving a strict menu of vegetarian dishes, it's become something of a mecca for foodies.
They're usually expecting sort of sushi and teriyaki and the typical sort of Japanese things, but most of the things I serve up are sort of very odd things that most people probably haven't had before.
At £27 a head for 12 courses, Horton has no problem attracting customers, but this wasn't always the case.
Social networking has been a real help. When I started this in January, the first sort of evening was only 6 people. They were just friends who I invited on Facebook.
Just yesterday I received loads of bookings from Hong Kong.
I don't think if we were still living in the age of sort of paper flyers, it might be a bit more difficult.
It's a lead that Anushka also followed, and it's paid off. It's 8 p.m. and her living room has been transformed into a fully booked restaurant.
The ambience and everything is absolutely brilliant. They've done very, very well.
It feels a little more intimate than a normal restaurant, I think, because there's other people here and we've been chatting to others that have been here, and that's special to me. Yeah.
She's preparing for a small group of people, and a lot of care has gone into that, whereas in restaurants you're kind of just another customer, aren't you?
Home-based restaurants are perfectly legal as long as no alcohol is sold. Tonight, Anushka's diners have brought their own wine, and dinner is a pay-what-you-like affair.
Because it's our opening nights, we've asked that people come along, and at the end of the night they make a donation in the yellow teapot.
In Hackney, the secret ingredient has a full house. This is the 50th time Horton and Rachel have hosted such an affair. It's become a profitable little business, and these types of restaurants are sprouting up all over the capital.
Pop-up restaurants are something that has certainly come to our attention over the last 18 months or so. Since the recession started, we've seen an increase in temporary catering facilities, certainly in London.
And it all began with these guys. Pablo and David are the pioneers of a pop-up concept. 2 years ago they launched London's first ever temporary restaurant in the East End.
The space we took on was 22,500 square feet. The restaurant sat 310 people in one go. 60 of those in log cabins. There was a forest of real trees, sort of 75 of them. Snow. There was snow, there was icicles.
Pablo and David host uber-glamorous, exclusive events on a colossal scale, offering cash-rich punters a new type of dining thrill. Tonight's event is set in a photographer's studio in King's Cross. It's a massive, underused space, typical of the locations they co-opt for their soirees, and some believe all of this could only be possible in a recession.
We've seen a massive explosion of available space. In the city, for example, we've seen About 12% of all city space was unmanned in the peak of the recession. People are exploiting the available space and doing the kinds of temporary catering facilities that pop-up restaurants allow. It's this sort of creative destruction process of old institutions coming down and new institutions taking their place.
Pop-up restaurants and supper clubs are great fun and perhaps a way of earning a little bit of money. But now the concept is being taken to a whole new level. Nuno Mendes is a world-famous premier chef who has run the kitchens of several Michelin-starred eateries. His latest venture is based in his Shoreditch loft apartment.
This is a remarkable space, but what is it first? Is it your home? Is it a restaurant?
It's always my home. I mean, it's a convertible home that converts into a restaurant. It started as a little side project, and it's actually it was just a really test kitchen. It's become a very seems a quite interesting business, and it's always full.
Nuno runs what is perhaps the capital's most elite pop-up restaurant. Members of his club pay £115 each to dine here. He hosts the event 4 nights a week, catering for 16 guests a time. That makes for healthy takings of over £7,000 a week.
Around 8:30, they sit down, they have dinner, and then it's a 12-course menu, so it's quite a long sort of gastronomic experience.
But Nuno's pop-up restaurant isn't just a big money spinner. It's also helping him to maintain his high profile in between jobs.
I set this up because I had the time to do it and because I didn't want to get rusty. But it's been an amazing marketing tool.
When it comes to marketing, others are following Nuno's lead. Selfridges, Dolce & Gabbana and the London Eye are just some of the big corporate names who have recently hosted pop-up events. But one West End business has given the whole idea a new spin. Noodles is the latest must-visit eatery in Soho. Serving simple, spicy Thai cuisine, the restaurant has a spectacular, unique selling point. It's only here for 41 days.
Your restaurant certainly feels pretty temporary. Broom handle, light fittings and packing box furniture. Was that something you intentionally wanted to create? That
Absolutely. We didn't want to pretend to be anything we weren't. We wanted to make a point that we are not here for very long. We have the dates up on the window and we cross them off every day. And the whole feeling for the restaurant needed to have this sort of temporary, not here for long, come and enjoy the experience, have some fun.
But this restaurant isn't just a short-term venture, it has an additional function.
To help us promote the restaurant that we're going to permanently place here in February. So it was really a try out the space and also market the new restaurant.
Pop-up restaurants are a great idea. Fun and intimate, they provide soul food in the true sense. But I can't help but feeling that with big businesses elbowing their way in on the idea, but we lose out on some of the fun of it all. And as quickly as the pop-up concept arrives, it may well disappear.